Hello, I'm Travelin Joe Passov with Golf Magazine. Reader Molly Cavanaugh from Ohio writes and says, "Dear Joe, my husband and I would love to do a Pinehurst trip that we've been talking about forever. Besides the US Open course, Pinehurst No. 2, where else should we play?" Good golly, Miss Molly, there are all kinds of options in Pinehurst for golf. Of course, you're right, you've got to start with No. 2. It's been recently restored by Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw, and it looks and plays fantastic. It's wider than it used to be, but they've gone back to their 1940s look, with sand and scrub framing every fairway. So the fairways may be wider now, but don't stray. You'll be off in the sand, and it'll be pretty tough recoveries for you. Now, to be fair, you got to play No. 2 because it's the US Open course. But if you've got some short game jitters with the putter and the chipper, No. 2 can be an absolute brute. Instead, maybe consider Pinehurst No. 1. It's also a Donald Ross design, but it's 1,000 yards less shorter, and the greens, while still crowned in the classic Ross fashion, aren't as challenging. Now, if you love Donald Ross classic courses, you gotta go just down the road to Southern Pines to play Pine Needles and Mid Pines, two Ross classics that date to the 1920s. Pine Needles, of course, has hosted 3 US Women's Opens in the last 15 years. It's not quite as severe as Pinehurst No. 2 is, but the greens are still wicked fun. And Mid Pines is just a treat from start to finish. If you've got a question for Travelin Joe, send me an email at askjoe@golf.com. Now, before we go, here's another Pinehurst golf travel tip. If you like a little extra spice with your golf, I've got to recommend Tobacco Road in Sanford, just a few minutes away from Pinehurst. It's a Mike Strands design, and I am telling you, you have never seen anything like it. Blind shots, semi-blind shots, undulations that are almost beyond belief. It's not for everybody, but it may suit your taste just fine for a little something different. I'm Travelin Joe Passov. I'll see you down the road.